Hello, and welcome to Putting You on the Spot, the podcast that puts you in the spotlight. Today in the spotlight, we have Jonathan Rullan. He's a self-made entrepreneur. He does a lot with the paintball community. He even hosts his own podcast, the OVERSHOT Paintball Podcast. Let's welcome Jonathan Rullan.
I appreciate you guys having me in today, man. I appreciate everything. And just a couple things, before I forget these, people and wonderful people that help me out with what I do. Yes, I am OVERSHOT, a paintball podcast. I have a nice, wonderful co-host, Travis, that I run the podcast with. We have a couple great sponsors, Dizana Sports. They make a lot of custom wear for us, from pants to t-shirts to beanies and everything like that. We also have Volcano USA, and they make some dope gear bags. But man, I appreciate you guys having me here. Nice little setup you guys have here. Been to another couple different spots, so I'm glad to be on the show today.
Yeah, thanks so much for the compliments. Thanks for coming down. So paintball, that's one of those things that until I met you, I didn't even know paintball was still going on. It was something that I did when I was young, and I know there's still paintball fields and stuff like that, but I didn't realize how big the community still was. So I know you put together a couple of events recently, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So paintball, it's been something that's been a part of my life, about for 15 years now. So, everybody's heard of paintball. Everybody's been involved with paintball, and a couple of the things, start, either out with a birthday party, bachelor party, or even, you look across the street, look across your fence or anything like that. You see your neighbor playing with a gun or anything like that. So, what I do now is a little bit more evolved. First you get your ground level, so birthday party, anything like that. Then, start off like anybody else. You play in the woods. Played in the woods a couple of years. Ended up playing some big games. Met a whole bunch of different people that are, now my closest friends. Something, as far as you always think your grammar school friends, and I'm kind of taking this from somebody else. Shout out to the Master Blasters. They were just on Fox Nation, actually. They got a TV deal with that. You always think your grammar school friends, dudes you're chilling with when you're in high school and shit like that, they're going to be your friends forever. Doesn't really happen like that. I don't show too many people that anybody really that I chilled with in high school. One being exception is my paintball friends. My paintball friends are all my friends now. So love paintball to death. I love, like you said, it's just a big community. So, whatever you need, even all my connections are paintball. So I'm here right now because of paintball. I met Charlie. Charlie's one of the co-producers, co-runners, co-organizers of this show, and we just met him through paintball. Life's kind of taken him different places, and now we're still good friends to this day. And he gave me a call up to come on this show and just spitball some of my ideas about what I think, something I love. Paintball, I like talking, so.
Yeah, which is perfect. You definitely are the chatterbox, and I love it, man. So with paintball, there's a couple of fields still out here, but you do a bunch of stuff upstate, right?
Yeah, so mostly, we got two big fields here. High velocity paintball. I worked there. That's where I met Charlie. So for about, I think this was my longest tenured job, 7-8 years. I was there. Charlie ran the same thing, and used to be run by two guys, Rob and Stan, and now Stan's son has taken it over, and this other guy, Timmy Rodriguez, that used to be good friends of ours that we've known for a long time. And dude, if you guys, if anybody, you're on Long Island, hit me up or go to High Vi. James is the man. James has been there since the dawn of time. Whether you've been there once or 100 times, the guy will take his shirt off his back for you. And there's not that many people out there like that. It's one of the true fields that you go to the owner remembers everybody's name, and you just feel good being there. Regardless. Like I said, first or 100th time. The other one, Cousins Painful. Shout out, Steve Casano runs. He's the head manager of all the fields over there. Absolutely great guy. There's some things that both fields could improve on. Honestly, to my benefit. The big thing being now is Long Island paintball. It's a little bit hard, on a competitive level. All the good players, you eventually go to New Jersey to play. Because fields aren't up to par to get you too ready, or all the good players, because nobody wants to come over the GW bridge on, what I mean, government, all that shit aside, dude. we'll leave the island. Nobody's coming on this island, dude. Nobody's coming on this island to fucking get banged by the GW tolls, sit in traffic, or whatever. Dude, it'll take me, it could take me an hour, 45 minutes to get to this field in New Jersey, long live in the morning, but it could take me 4 hours to get back. And dude, that's taxing every weekend. And then especially in New Jersey, there's fucking like, dude, and these teams are soft, dude. They're fucking bitches, dude. They hit me up. They're like, oh my God, this tournament's an hour and a half away. Like, dude, hour and a half is nothing, dude. I hour and a half fucking just to get off the island, dude, on a good day, So, as far as, my main tournaments are at Long Live Paintball, run by this great guy, James Kim. He lives on Long Island, but he's literally like, Stark's Neck Bridge, Jim Kim's house. Like, he lives like, not that he lives under the bridge, he's not a troll, but so dude, these teams, dude, I mean, shout out to any New Jersey team, dude. Like, you guys have it easy. You guys' fields are open. Fucking Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. You can play paintball any day of the week there. Train, practice. The fields are blown up. You get a good deal on air and paint. They don't know the struggle. Long Island Paintball for competitive tournament player is the field's uneven. It's in a sand trap. It's on hard dirt. The air is friggin' 3 football fields away. And for those, I'm talking paintball lingo, so if people don't understand what paintball is, maybe they won't understand this. But dude, just imagine, you got to repump your soccer ball full of air or your basketball or whatever, and instead of the pump being right there, you gotta go to the other side of the soccer complex, pump it up. Then you play deflates. Then you got to go back over every time. Over a course of time, you're not going to want to do it. So, just going on a rant about that. But, again, that's paintball on Long Island, man. Like, it's tougher. Something that I've been on another podcast. People championed me to do is they wanted me to be. This, I kind of went on a rant like this, and the guy's like, well, you should be the saving grace. Like, you should be the Jesus Christ of Long Island paintball. And it's like, yeah, man, I don't know about that. So I have tried in the past, and, we had a good time with me. Shout out to this guy, Edwin Cordero. We put together a big practice. We made sure the air was back there. We made sure the paint was there, and it was like the biggest turnout, like Long Island. Normally you'll get like 25 people on a standard like practice tournament day, and we had like 70 people. It was fantastic. Not but bad. Then COVID hit, so that kind of shut things down for a little bit. As far as the paintball world is concerned.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because it is an outdoor sport, an activity and whatnot, but still when you got the teams together and everything like that, there is some close contact, but also everybody's wearing a mask anyway. So, but yeah, how has the COVID affected paintball tournaments, just events in general?
So for like 3 months, everything shut down, but that was like everything in the world. The only places, like Texas always been bumping. Dude, Texas is a paintball mecca, paintball capital, and they also don't care about all that stuff. So whatever, regardless of people's opinions are, man, my opinion is you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear it, don't wear it. Do whatever you want, man. Do what you got to do, man. It's a real thing, but at the end of the day, you can't be trapped inside. So, what ended up happening was, and this is the first year kind of parlay into my tournaments. This is the first year I was going to run tournaments. First year I'm going to run this type of tournament. So I run tournaments in the woods. I'm going to run speedball tournaments, blow up inflatables, more the mainstream stuff that you would see on maybe like back in the day at ESPN, things like that. So coming out the gate, I'm going to run them in New Jersey. New places are starting to open up, and then about 3 weeks before my event, they're like, we're eliminating it to 25 people. Well, a typical team, while there are only going to be 5 people playing at a time, will have rostered, due to the format, 10 players. So, and we usually run 4 teams at a time. What will happen is 2 teams will be playing each other, and then there'll be like a 2-minute break, and in between that, like the other team is playing. So while it's not good for like streaming purposes, maximizing schedules, stuff like that, that's the way you go. So I was like, I can't do that. I can't. 25 people. could have two teams. What am I gonna have two teams? Someone's like, yeah, you could have two teams, and then, they leave the facility and then come back. Yeah, okay, dude, there's no way. I had 10 prepaid teams for one thing, 5 for the. There's nothing, dude. There's no way. So I call. Shout out to Brian Barno, OXCC. Call him up. Maryland's a little bit looser. Which I thought they were a little bit looser. Find out to be that, I didn't see this, but after the fact, I had like 4 or 5 messages, various forms of communication, like, yo, you can't do this, blah, blah, blah. Maryland was just not enforced. Like, the rules were the same as New York, but just local police and regulations, like, they didn't do it. So, and then coming back, towards the later end of last year, towards the fall of 2020, paintball was booming. I was at the field. There's 400 or 500 people, cousins, long live, wherever we would go. Record turnouts, because at the end of the day, what I do is I run tournaments. So you're allowed to run up and shoot someone point blank in the head or in the neck or whatever. But your casual everyday to day interaction, you're only out within there's a 20-foot surrender rule. So if you're 20 feet of somebody, you can't shoot them. Mm-hmm. Plus, you're wearing the goggles. Plus, sad things. I mean, realistically, the big thing, regardless of any field, is I would recommend just people you buy your own mask when you go. No, it might cost you an extra $20, $40 for a good one. But if you decide you want to do this more than once, dude, it tenfold, because the rental goggles, they clean it, they disinfect, but they're not the best. They'll fog a little bit. So I always recommend getting your own pair of goggles and then just going out there and, you can use the rental equipment. I mean, and in some of these fields, you can even get an upgrade, and it's an electric gun. Like, I work at Long Live on the weekends as well. So definitely recommend them. They do a great job. And they even have, which is good for the kids, it's 50 cal. So it's a little smaller paintballs. People get shot. They don't feel a sting as much. You get little. I got 8-year-olds blasting each other, 5 feet away. And you barely feel it. You wear a chest protector. It's good. You're outdoors, as far as COVID's concerned. You're outdoors, you're running, you're wearing a mask. So, there's plenty of tables, your table's 6 feet apart from the other tables, everything like that, and these fields are really trying to do a bang up job, and they need it, because at the end of the day, it's local business, man. It's not, Stop and Shop and Walmart, all these places, they can weather the storm, but the guy that runs the paintball field's the same guy, sponsoring the local little league or any of these things, or doing corporate outings, or if you need a raffle basket, they're throwing in the free end here, take get an entry free or a gift card. They're the same type of thing. So I'm a big proponent of just one, support those who support you, but money's got to circulate its way in the economy. You know what I mean? If tough times, you kind of want to hoard it, but if everybody's hoarding their money and money's not circulating, then that's no good either. Yeah, and now with I know you guys do a lot of charity events and stuff like that, right? So that's another thing. I'm a part of it's Save Kiwanis Club, so they got a bunch of different chapters. Big thing, club's been a little bit. It's one of the smaller clubs, a little bit dormant past couple of years. Have a lot of older people. Shout out to them. They taught me a lot about stuff. It's kind of learn the ways of, they got the old school networking where they're picking up the phone, combine that with a little bit with the Facebook and all that kind of stuff. You can do a lot. So I kind of said to them, I'm like, well, listen, like, I can run a tournament all day. I can run a tournament. I know how to do it. Run woods bowl tournaments. I run tournaments. I can run in my sleep. I was like, why don't we do one, and all the profit goes to charity, goes to helping kids in need. So it's a win-win. And it was really, my main job was to run the tournament. The other guy's job was to, do the raffles, maybe get some raffles donated. The big thing that we found out, a lot of people like lotto trees, lotto tree, bunch of different scratch offs, feed the gambler in them, so to speak, Mm-hmm. So that's been a big hit from our past events. So we did that. And then I just had a lot of help from, whether it be my friend Kevin, who plays paintball as well. He's in the club. So, I had, people donate their time to ref. So, normally, it might cost me $750 to $1,000 in payroll.
Wow.
Right? I'm sure $150 a guy, 10 guys. This tournament, I might need more like 500, let's say. So, you take 500 instead of 500 there, 500 to the kids, 500 more. Right? And then, had this guy Magic Mike donated a paintball gun. And I was like, dude, you can see that on my on my Overshot podcast. This guy Magic Mike from the Bears brought in he had it. I was like, dude, what's that? Oh, don't worry. His fucking son brings it up. Yeah, we're gonna donate to the chat, dude. Heart of gold, man. Heart of gold. This guy Magic Mike. So that and we did pretty well. We raised a little under $5,000, which for the club was great because in the past, I don't think the previous year they raised $5,000. Honestly, and no knock to them. Again, like I said, a couple older guys. The club was dormant. Now we got a couple of younger guys trying to beef it up. We're not as big as some of the other clubs, but I think the big thing with our club is it's not just. It's the money's come from we're generating the money. It's not money coming from
long-standing careers,
wealthy businessmen
Yeah.
trying, doing it. Like I got guys in my group that that they have decent jobs and they do well. But our big thing is, again, we work in the community. Like we went out and cleaned gravestones. Dude, I was scrubbing. I mean, me, the way that I am, I was on this one for freaking the whole time because it was so freaking dirty, and I was like, dude, I can't. It was a Civil War veteran, dude.
Wow.
It was like 18, yeah, dude, like 18 something, dude. It was very far back, and I'm like, dude, this guy needs a little bit more. It needs some love, dude. We had the bleached or whatever. There's Agent Orange, not Agent Orange, but whatever. There's a certain thing, so it doesn't whatever.
Yeah,
Save the Earth,
so it doesn't break it down.
Greenpeace, whatever. Biofuel, Prius style, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, we're looking to do it again. Last year we did it at Cousins Paintball. They were a great host. This year, we'll see where it's at. No bad intentions either way. But just wherever I feel like we can help people the most. Definitely on Long Island, so it's either at High Velocity or Cousins. And we'll definitely do that again because big thing is we had businesses play. And that was more fun to watch. So we had paintball teams play one thing, businesses over here. Businesses freaking was the best because people, they don't, when people know too much, it's a boring stalemate. These dudes were running. Dudes didn't know where the other dude was. He was on the thing behind him, turns around, guys running down the field, dude shooting him right in the ass. It was, oh man. And what was great was these paintball teams. I made it so everything was kind of, we made it where everybody could watch, and people were 6 feet apart. Don't get me wrong, but people were close enough to the action where everybody, it was a big community and thing. Those guys weren't over there. The paintball teams were next to the business teams. Businesses had a great opportunity to network because regardless if people think that paintball players are poor, if you got expendable income to play paintball. And, you just say, dropping $100 a week on it. Same person that's probably going to go to Applebee's afterwards.
Yeah.
Or, the local restaurant or, because we had a couple banks. We had a tutoring service. We had a nursery, a sign guy, graphics guy, banner guy. You know what I mean? So, an Allstate agency. We had a bunch of businesses. So it was a good time. Corporate team building. So like I said, we had a business class. And we had a paintball class, and the paintball teams were cheering them on. They're like, go. These dudes were having a blast. We had a team of all kids, man. Like I'm saying, tutoring service was all kids. And again, helps what we need, some underprivileged kids. And they were playing. And, dude, these guys were having a blast, dude. We had, a young guy, a big dude, a tall dude. I think the dude it looked like an NFL linebacker. I didn't think he was, whatever. He looked 17, but he definitely, they were killing it. They were having a great time. So, say to anything to anybody, do what you want to do and be yourself.
Yeah.
Just be yourself, because like, and it's harder than ever nowadays, honestly, not to get off on complete tangents, but it's harder than ever nowadays to just be yourself, because I think that the world just wants you, especially if you're a loud, brash person. Like, if you're a loud, brash person, I think that the world just wants, yo, chill out, calm down, take this, take that, do that, do. I think more now than ever is we need people like, if you did, regardless of what you believe in, if you believe the sky's green or the sky's blue, whatever, dude, just if that's what you believe in, and 100%, like, don't let anybody tell you no.
Yeah.
So.
I gotcha. Yeah, in today's day and age, like, anxiety, depression, these aren't brand new things, but it seems like nowadays everybody's like, oh, well, I'm on Lexapro. Well, I'm on Lexapro and something else to balance out the Lexapro, because then I can't sleep.
And then dogs have it, dude. And then your dog's got it. Your dog's got it. And listen, man, I'm not saying dogs don't probably have things too. But your support dog needs a support dog, and your Zanny and whatever, dude. I mean, it's getting out of control, and listen, like I said, all those things are real things, but it's
the medication is what gets me, because these are not new things, and in today's day and age, things just seem to be getting crazier and crazier, from whatever side it's coming from, and people just don't know how to process it. And there's chemical imbalances, and sometimes you need medication, and explore the things. The one thing that I am excited about, I guess you could say, maybe that's a wrong word, but people are paying attention to these things and trying to find ways to deal with them. The only problem is the pharmaceutical industry is just constant, well, just take a pill. Yeah, sometimes a pill, you might need that to get you started, but
then you're hooked on stuff.
Yeah, but why aren't we pushing exercise and meditation and, and that there's all kinds of breath work and other stuff that you can use in tandem and not have to stay on pills. And then, if that stuff doesn't work,
then you're hooked on it, dude. Then you're hooked on
that's
the
only problem.
You go down that rabbit hole, and I've had friends and people, and paintball is no stranger to it as well. Just like the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Dude, just people get hooked on these things, man. And I've had experiences in the past where, I didn't understand it, and I'm not like a therapist or anything like that, but I've had guys on my team, because I've been a player, like, don't get me wrong, but I think the biggest thing that I enjoy is coaching. I like coaching paintball. I like taking a player that doesn't know or doesn't believe they know what the fuck they're doing. They don't believe it, man. And it's like, you could take that person and they had it in them the whole time, but they just gotta unleash it. They gotta unleash that power. And going back to medication, I've definitely had players that I didn't know the right, my go-to answer would just be like, dude, maybe paintball's not for you. I think you need to check in somewhere or something. And, maybe paintball is their saving grace. It's hard sometimes. It's hard because if you're not trained in these things, it's not an easy conversation to have, but you also got to know who you're speaking to.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing with any things you need to know. It's the same thing with coaching a player. There are some players that you could just be like, you effing moron, fucking, what the fuck are you doing? You're a fucking idiot, blah, blah, blah. And there's some other people that are like, all right, man, like, listen, you did good, but you just want to do this a little bit different. Like, you need to know how to talk to players. And I know in my past, and I just one way of looking at things. And it was successful with certain people. And even to this day, I rub people a lot the wrong way because of the way that I look at things. I'm very like, when I go to, we're gonna have a paintball event this next on Sunday. When I go there, I don't shake nobody's hands. I go there, we play. When we come off the field, we come back, we do what we got to do. There's no shaking. I don't wish the other team good luck. Because to me, that's signifying that, like, why would I want you to have good luck?
Going old school.
I don't want. I'm very like that. I don't want to wish that. Or like my big thing would, I'd be like, break a leg. No, seriously, I hope you break your leg, because dude, I I'm there to win, man. And I think, and I've had a lot of there's another local team out there, and I love these guys to death. The Covenant, I'll shout them out, Covenant. They see things, they're nice guys. I'll say that. They're very nice guys. They let everybody play. They see things a little bit different than I see. But I go to a tournament and I expect to win. And when I don't win, I'll even tell you this, dude. When we win, most of the time, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, we were supposed to do that. So, and I don't care if it's the same thing with anything in life. Just because you've been doing something for a long time, one, doesn't make you an expert.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you an expert. Two, you could be doing it wrong your whole time. So it's like, this is this guy's first tournament. Well, dude, this is a beginner tournament. I don't care that guy's been playing beginner tournaments for 3 years because he don't know what the F he's doing. Or just sometimes people don't have it.
Yeah.
Listen, if you want to play for fun, that's on you. But don't penalize or downgrade me because I came to win. I don't understand that. And I think that's even with society, with life, or with anything, dude. It's like, I came to fucking win. I don't care who you are, like, and it comes back to like tribal instincts, like back cavemen and stuff like that, dude. Like, at the end of the day, like, if it's life or death, like, I'm gonna stab you in the throat. Like, that's just how it is, man. So like, I don't know. Maybe I take a lot of philosophies in paintball, and then maybe like, I'll be honest. Like, there's a lot of people that don't like me or they don't agree with me. But I think that if one thing that I would want to get out of this is that if you're on my team, I will do anything for you. I will fucking take a bullet. I will bleed for you, and that's what it is. Sometimes people see what I do, and they're like, they don't like, like, that's too far. Bro, I'm doing whatever the heck I got to do to make my team win. If that's psychological, because, paintball, yeah, it's you're shooting guns at each other, right? Warfare, right? There's a psychological part in there. So, me saying some sly comment to you, like, I went up to a team and I was like, yo, that's because we had, the guy cheated in practice or something, which is not a big deal. People cheat in paintball, whoa, okay. So right before they're about to play a point, and they're not playing too good that day, but I'll tell you this, that team was the best looking team in practice, and I told them, like, you guys don't win the tournament, you guys, effed up, effed up big.
Fucking up.
So I saw them out there doing a little huddle, and I was like, hey, aren't you the cheater guy? And the other kid blew up. And then one of the young kids on my team was like, yo, why did you do that? And I was like, they're mentally done. They're done now, dude. They're mentally distraught. They're done. They're thinking about what I'm saying instead of thinking about the game plan. And listen, man, did I need to do that? No, but dude, I'm there. Like I said, I'm there to win, man. I'll do what I got to do. I mean, I'm not sticking any quarters in anybody's loaders. I've never done that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that sounds fucked up.
Straight to your face. That's an old school trick, dude.
Yeah.
That's an old school trick. I got another one for you. Back in the day, they were playing on this big woods ball field, and, you're starting over there, and I'm starting over there, and the game's in, whatever, half an hour. One of the dudes went and shit in the bunkers that the people were going to play in.
Oh, no.
So dude slid in. What the fuck? Slid and shit.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, I'd go bananas, dude.
Oh, that's so nasty.
I go bananas in there, dude. Someone freaking, oh, God.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Covered in shit, man. So.
Oh, it's fun. So what about some other crazy paintball stories? Because, when you're out there on the field, it's like its own little mini war zone. So, like, I used to paintball a lot when I was younger, and we get fucking nuts out there.
Dude, I mean, I'll say this, and some things got to be redacted or classified or off of things, but a couple story, dude, it's mostly off the field. I mean, off the field. You're going, like, I've been to Costa Rica, Ecuador, Cancun, all these places that, traveling with like your best buddies, dude. It's the best buddies. It's always good, Yeah, there's girls that play, and shout out to the female paintball players. Paintball isn't, but you could be big, small, large, tall, fat, wide. You could be anything. You can play paintball, man. There's a spot for you out there. Depending on what you want to play, timid, aggressive, scared, whatever you want to do. They even got scenario games where you take your Dungeons and Dragons role players or any of those people that go to those medieval festivals,
the Renaissance fairs,
LARPing and anything like that, dude. The scenario games, it's LARPing with a paintball gun, and I would suggest even maybe that's something they need to tap into more, is bring in those role players, LARPers, cosplay type of thing into the scene, because I think that would work out well for that. But as far as like crazy stories, I mean, I'll bring this one up. So I had a friend back in the day. Wouldn't call him. He definitely is not a friend anymore. We go out to Chicago, and we're playing in. It's called the Ultimate Woods Ball League. So we're on this team, Master Blasters at the time. I brought him in, this guy Gator. So I bring him onto the team, and we play a couple events. He plays some events with them without me. They do pretty well. They win an event down in Maryland that year. I couldn't make it. I had something. I think I had another event I had to attend to or something like that. Or maybe I was running an event, something along those lines. They end up winning. So we end up going to Chicago, Badlands, and we're playing quote-unquote pro. It was called pro.
Okay.
I get picked up for that event. He gets picked up. And was it when we were pro? Paintball blurs together. So, but I remember this clear as day. So we're playing the event, and there was something called the scout. So the scout would leave 5 seconds early. So the game would start, beep, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the rest of the team. It was 10 on 10 in the woods. He wanted to be the scout so bad, and this team literally, Mason had the number 1 ranked scout the previous year. This guy, Dave Cilio, begging them. And what I ended up, like, I vouched for him. I vouched for him to get on the team. I vouched for him to be the scout. This dude, the horn goes, beep, he goes, runs, trips and falls. Dude, you got to be, come on, man. I just vouched for you and all this. So whatever, it happens. We play. We're the team's not playing the best, but, we're playing. And there comes to a point in time where they're like, dude, all right, yeah, I just changed. You're just gonna be a normal player. He ain't taking that. Like, I'm the fastest man in paintball. Like, I'm the freaking Flash, dude. Like, this guy, what a big ego on this dude. So they end up. There was another role. They're like, all right, dude, we'll make you the heavy gunner. So the heavy gunner, everybody's capped at 10 bullets per second, which it seems pretty. It's not that fast in the realm of paintball. We're 15, 20, 10 balls ain't that fast. But this guy can shoot full auto, fast as the gun could go. He can go 25. So that's a big advantage. Yeah. So you want that guy in a key position to do a lot of work for you. So he's got this another time he's got a valuable role, man. Me, I'm just a peon. You know what I mean? This guy's a knight or a rook. I'm a peon. I'm a freaking whatever. Yeah, peon. I'm calling them peons. I'm the stable boy. So we're going out there, and then another thing too, doesn't get his job done, doesn't do it. So that night, we're team staying at a hotel. I end up crashing with a good friend of mine that lives out there, and we're both there as well because we ride out together. It's me, him, and this kid, Danny. This kid, Danny's like 16 at the time. Still a good friend of mine. Danny Bronstein, shout out. Come back to paintball, the kid. So he's like, we should leave the team. He wants to cause a mutiny right now. Straight up pirate, call, all right, let's leave the team. Fuck that, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, dude, like, you're my boy, bro, but, you're wrong. You're wrong, and, like, you don't do that in the middle of a tournament, regardless. I don't care if you get to the event and they sit you every point and you don't do nothing. You do not leave in the middle of an event. And I wasn't going to do that. And so the next day we have a couple more prelim games. And so it's 10-man Saturday, Sunday, Saturday the whole day, and then 10-man in the morning. They do finals. Then they do 5-man. So what ends up happening is I'm like, we roll up, and he's like, yo, I'm not staging over there with them. I'm like, dude, I'm going to go stage with them. I'll bring over the paint, your share of the paint. And, you know, whenever you want to, whenever we have to play, just come out and play, whatever. Whatever. We play the prelims. He ain't too happy. So now 5-man starts. And 5-man starts, it's me, him, the kid Danny that we drove with, this girl that was on the team, Sarah, and then my boy Benzo. And he goes over to Tom Cole, who runs the league. He's like, yeah, we're going to play as Federation. We're not Master Blasters anymore. Dude, whatever.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? He wants, that's his old team name back in the day. He wants to resurrect it. You know, people are about their brand. You know, Master Blasters, Federation, all these guys. Everybody's always about these brands. You know, Overshot, you know, putting you on the spot podcast. You know what I mean, dude? It's you know, it's a brand. It's bigger than just what it is. You know what I mean? Brand loyalty, everything like that. So this guy ends up going out there, and I could tell he's tanking these games. Like, he runs out there one time with a white T-shirt on and just runs straight down the road. Doesn't even pick up his gun, running with his gun like this on the side. Gets shot up.
What was the point?
I don't know, man. I don't understand, because it was his brand and his name, but I think the guy's also a little bit cuckoo in the head, honestly. You know, from previous dealings with him. So I come out and I'm like, I go look at this kid. I'm like, yo, dude, this guy Joe that was on the Master Blasters. I'm like, whoever Joe's son's name was. I was like, yeah, dude, you ever play before? He's like, once. I was like, good, you're going to play. I'm like, we're not fucking letting this Gator guy play again. No fucking way. He's fucking taking the games, man. I fucking came all the way. Dude, I want to fucking win. I don't give a fuck. I want to win.
Yeah, you're there to compete.
I'm there to win, dude.
Yeah.
I'm there to fucking win. Whatever we got to do. This guy's running down the field with a white T-shirt on in the middle of the effing woods. Fucking idiot, dude. So, like, now I'm talking, and now he's, like, throughout the day, he's like, yeah, you fucking like them better than me. I'm like, dude, it's not like that. I just... Like, dude, you're my boy too. Just there's a certain way to handle these things, you know. And over time, you know, I've handled things wrong in the past in my life, and that was the way to handle it at that time. So he comes, doesn't mean I handle this next part right. So he comes over, and we're kind of exchanging some words. He's like, yeah, fuck you, da da. I'm like, fuck you. So we play one more game, and I come out, and because he's staging by my car. I'm like, give me my freaking keys. And he's like, yo, you can't leave me here. And I'm like, you're leaving yourself here, dude. By the way that you acted today, you're leaving yourself here. Because I think he heard. I was like, I'm fucking leaving this guy here. So wait, I was like, fuck this guy. I'm leaving him here, blah, blah, blah. So he gets in my face. And this dude, you know, Jack, dude, works out, you know. Dude, realistically, dude, I'm frail. Like, I might look like I got some things, but dude, I try to pick up a cinder block. My arms are hurting bad. So, and I'm like, dude, I'm not having this, dude. I don't, like, in my head, and it's always been, dude, if someone's got, I'll hit the ground, I'll wake up in a couple hours, I'll be good. Whatever, you know what I mean? I'll be fine. So he's getting in my face. So I start fucking taking my jersey off. I take my pack off. I'm like, dude, you want to? I'm like, let's go, old man. You want to fight me? And I come back, and I open palm like the biggest pimp slap you could ever see. I pimp slapped him. Why didn't I punch him? I don't know, man. But I pimp slapped him.
If I'm going down, you're going down with something.
Guy's 20 years older than me, jacked out of his mind, looks like Skeletor from He-Man. No. If you guys know Skeletor, that's what this guy looks like. And this is about, and now mind you, the field's about 5 feet from me, and everybody's there watching. So it was called the bitch slap heard around the world for like the longest time in all the chats and everything like that. So I get my keys, I go back to my car, and like all the dudes on the Master Blasters are like, "Oh, dude, like that, like yo, we got your back. That was sick." Blah blah blah. Like you got to but you got to drive him home. I'm like, dude, this guy told me he was gonna kill me. This guy literally told me he was gonna kill me, kill my whole family while we were sleeping. And I'm telling you right now, that guy meant it.
Wow.
You know when people are like, they're just messing.
You see it in them crazy eyes,
man, or anything like that. I'm telling you, that dude meant it with every ounce of his being. He definitely meant it. And the guy Rosie, shout out, Rosie's a great guy, great paintball mentor. In the world of paintball, seen and done everything, still mentoring people this day. My own. I call these kids my. I got 15-year-old kids on my team, and this guy's still mentoring them. Call them my kids.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll kill the guy if he touches you. I was like, Rosie, that's fine, man, but I'm driving from Chicago to New York. If this dude's right behind me, this dude could sleeper hold me while I'm driving or something. And I got this young 16-year-old kid here with me. I don't feel safe. Not even just for myself, for this kid right here. So, they're like, all right, at least drive his stuff home. And I was like, all right, because in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna go. Once I'm on the GW bridge, I'm gonna toss all his stuff out. That's what I thought I was gonna do. But you calm down and everything.
Yeah.
So but this wasn't even the last of this, because I leave him there, and they drive him to the airport. And I left him there and all this stuff. And my dad's like, you left somebody there.
Wow.
Blah, blah, blah. My dad, listen, I get home and my dad realizes, this guy isn't 15 years old, 16. He ain't even 20. You know what I mean? This guy's 40-something years old. And this guy's talking to my dad, like threatening my life. And my dad was, a retired cop. So my dad, put the fear of God into him a little bit, and, kind of told him, dude, don't come near my kid.
Yeah,
you'll get your stuff.
Wild.
You'll get your stuff, and yeah, man, that's Gator, dude. That's freaking guy's still playing. If I seen him out there once, he kind of want to stay away from me or anything like that, dude. Like, listen, man, if I see that guy at a paintball, dude, go play paintball, man. You probably need it. You probably need it. Probably need that escape, that mental release. Listen, man. Am I gonna go hang out with the guy? No, but I mean, I know the guy to this day still. Like, I commented on a post and Team Delta, so I got him on Delta, and then we left Delta and went to Master Blasters. I got him on Delta, and they got like an award or something, or they were talking about a paintball loader, and I was like, oh, this was my favorite paintball. It was like, well, something to get you to comment. Hey, what was your favorite paintball loader? And I was like, this is mine, and he's like, nobody fucking cares what you think, and I was like, dude.
Wow.
Obviously, you do if you're gonna comment. Obviously, you care. Like, why would you comment? Like, if you really don't care, you wouldn't even entertain it.
Yeah. So it seems like even in the paintball world, things can get a little dicey out there.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like anything with life, and especially. Like I said, there is women in paintball, but it's, that testosterone, male dominance.
Yeah, the toxic masculinity, as they're always talking about.
Yeah, man, but it's, because it's, dude, at the end of the day, you could, it's chess with guns, dude, it's the hunted and, you're getting hunted, dude.
Yeah, and tempers can flare, and, you're out there, you're in that warrior mindset, and, who knows where, people's mindsets are before they even step onto that field, what kind of day they were having, what kind of year they were having. But, then you're putting a gun in their hand, and like
I'll tell you this though, it's a good release on that too, man, because you can take your frustrations out, and instead of verbally or even physically, and hopefully people keep their hands to themselves, but on paintball, man, you could take that out on you could shoot somebody.
Yeah.
You play it safe, you do it right, but you could just, man, I've had plenty of weeks you go to the paintball field, it's like, your own therapy, dude. It's like your own yoga, or a lot of people call it church. I'm a believer. You could practice church anywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in a building, or it could be outside. It could be just doing something that you love.
Something that connects you to a power greater than yourself.
Exactly. And there's speaking of that, I mean, I was listening to a podcast and the people talked about how the rubber shoes are your soul because you're not grounded to the earth.
Oh yeah. There's a big conspiracy about that.
Grounding. It's called grounding or earthing.
Yeah.
So that's people. You should wear walk barefoot a lot
More often. Yeah.
then you're grounded to the earth.
Yeah, I do like a lot of natural meditations and stuff like that. And yeah, being outside in nature, barefoot, that's the way to go if you're looking for that like connection to just like breathe and and get away for a moment.
And I'm sure there's some science, whatever, protons, neutrons, electrons. I don't even know if that's the right words. I wasn't too good on the whole school front, but I think there it's definitely something to it. I don't know if my feet are up for that yet, but
well, wait until it's the snow is gone. At least we got nothing but ice and snow. So,
dude, yeah, man.
Speaking of which, do you still play in the snow?
I mean, people play all weather. Myself
cool.
Personally, where I'm at, and my life and everything like that. We're training for a tournament coming up. We actually have a tournament this weekend. I'll play a tournament in the snow. I'm not looking to go to practice in the snow. One, because of driving, all that stuff. I'm not risking my car. It's the same thing with like work. Even like I'm at a point now. I'm like, listen, I'll go in, but it's like, dude, if I'm driving and it starts getting dicey, I'm going home. I'm going home. Ain't worth me getting a car wreck or anything like that. So paintball's played in all weather. And
there's indoor as well, right?
A lot of the indoors. See, that's a big thing. A lot of the indoors are closed now because of COVID.
True.
So a lot of them lost business. And I mean, there's two. There's one up in Boston that's been going strong. Boston Paintball. They've been there around for a long time. Rest in peace, High Velocity Paintball in Bayshore. They played there a long time. Great field, great guys. They still have their outdoor location.
Over in like what's that?
Coram,
right.
So they have there, and then Cousins over in Calverton.
That place has been there forever. I remember going there.
Yeah.
What was it? Cousins. I started going there maybe when I was like 12 or 13.
Cousins was in Coram, and then they ended up moving a couple years to Calverton. Yeah, man. And even before that, it was a field. Before that, it was called, and this is like way before my time, but a little bit of like history.
I never even heard about that.
It's called, I mean, dude, I think it was even before you were born. I think it was like in the 90s or, well, I mean, I was born 90, so it was probably like right when I was born.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's called American Airgun Games, but I only know this because, through my travels and meeting people, like, I'm the Master Blasters, they've been around since like the dawn of paintball, and one of the guys that was on the team there, one of the older guys, Anthony Cuoco, his dad actually owned American Airgun Games, and then Cousins purchased it. So that's how I kind of know a little bit about that. But and I heard there was some shady dealings with that too, but I don't know. I can't comment on that. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of stuff on Long Island.
No, I really can't. No, I mean, I don't know really. I mean, I'll say there's a lot of things in paintball. Like with anything, people get smart with the lawyers and corporations and things like that, where sometimes people get hang out left to dry, but I mean that's between them and those people. Yeah. As far as that's concerned.
So you got your own podcast, you got a co-host, and you guys talk about all things paintball. How's that been going lately?
So I mean, this was something that right before COVID, so like March 2020. I was in insurance, selling insurance, going to a lot of networking events, and the big ones one of the ones that I always had a great time, always felt like was chill, good people, was Smithtown Young Professionals. And they put out an event, and you would pay like $10, and there'd be food. Best bang for your buck. You'd meet people, network. And we went to this place called Talk IQ Media. We met this guy, Rob Taramina, and he was talking about podcasts. You need to do podcasts is the next big thing. Everybody's going to be listening to stuff more than they're going to be really watching it. Because people don't really watch TV. They're on their Facebook or whatever. They're listening. But it's the same thing. Hey, Alexa, all that stuff was coming out, too. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been out, but it was kind of becoming more prevalent. So And my boy Travis has always been like, yo, we should do a paintball podcast. I'm like, yeah, paintball, whatever. So at the end of it, I'm like, hit him up, and I'm like, I was like, hey, I want to come back, and let's just talk about this podcast thing. And my thing was, if I liked it, I'm not buying. We're gonna just book the studio, whatever the studio is, as long as it's a fair, reasonable rate. This guy already, and this comes back to content, is like you give someone something for free.
Mm-hmm.
And if, like, the way that I look at it is, if I can get $100 value out of what he gave me for free, obviously, then the next thing's $200 you got to go to. And then, what I mean? It's like all these things, right? But as long as the value of the stuff he gave me, like he did one thing with a Facebook post, and it was like, shit was worth its weight in gold. It was a certain algorithm and all this stuff. And, Rob is still a big help to us today. And I go in, and right before it, he's like, hey, man, why don't you just be on my podcast? And where this podcast is to this day, I don't. He's been dropping new podcasts. I don't know if my episode got deleted out there, Rob. Please, man. But it was just, it was supposed to be insurance. But I mean, dude, I just love this game of paintball so much that I was like, yo, can we just talk about paintball? I love it. And he challenged me, and then he was like, yo, we're gonna do a workshop, and the workshop was, I don't know, I think it was $50, $250. And you'd get like a mic, and you get all this stuff. It was good value, but I was like, I wasn't 100% in. So, but I paid the $50 right away. But and then I was like, if I want to, I'll step up to the $250, right? Like maybe I'll do it today, but whatever, a week before. So I go there. I'm Travis. Yo, you got to be in on this. You got to be in on this. And we're there. It's an all day workshop, and just gave us so much value, so much insight. I end up with it because I already learned some of it in his little freebie workshop. It wasn't just it was podcast, Facebook post, all this stuff. So a lot of it was the same, but we did a post, and it was like, if you could interview anybody in history, who would you do? And he was like, yeah, winner gets whatever. So I'm doing it. And I'm direct messaging it to everybody. I'm like, yo, please comment. So I end up getting like 200 comments, and people are getting like 20, 9, 8, 30. And the big thing also was too, the algorithm was already in place with Facebook because I've done it before. The other thing about it too was I commented on everybody's comments, which then had more comments. Hey, I want to interview Thomas Edison. And then I would just comment, what kind of questions would you ask Thomas Edison? Oh, I would ask him this. Oh, those are great questions. Or, oh, I never would have thought of that, blah, 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 blah. Right? So now you're gauging a conversation. And then that helps. The more time people spend on Facebook is the more they're going to promote your shit out to other people too. Right? And that's another thing I learned about, like, yeah, you want to put your YouTube link up, right? But Facebook doesn't want people going to YouTube.
Yeah.
They want people staying on Facebook, right? So there's just little ticks and, little things that you can do to kind of help you out. And you can go back and, and edit it. But listen, any of these things, man, I mean, shout out to Rob. People like this guy's he's got a marketing. He's a guru on this stuff, and he backs up what he says, man. And he does a lot of free content, a lot of stuff, if you know, whatever. So going back to how I even got into this podcast thing, and how we're doing is we had a great time, and we signed up then and there. He threw in a mic, he threw in an Audio Technica mic, and we started the process. And it wasn't a thing like, just record and go and put it out, because that was another thing I wanted. I was like, I can do that myself.
Yeah.
I can go and get you know, I'm thinking like super old school. I was like, I can get a tape recorder, like a cassette. What do you remember those old school ones? Oh my God, I think it was like a spy thing or whatever. I'm just thinking of something super old and cheesy. Maybe I'll remember it. Oh my God, like a Sony Walkman type of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, he had a whole thing. You know, you want his big thing was Apple Podcasts, because he found a little bit of a hack where you would do this thing and you would be in the top 200 of whatever the category.
Yeah,
was.
within like the first post or two,
48.
you can
It was
automatically
like 48 hours. Within,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And you were on the top.
Yeah.
I think we were between 280 and 250. I don't think we ever cracked the top 200 in sports. Sports is a little bit more difficult than some of the other ones. But I also think the other thing too was like I also was big on. I was like, I want a YouTube channel too. His was more like audio. Eventually, when he learns things, he'll teach you things. So we're cranking this thing out. You know, we're you know, he's showing us. You know, we used Buzzsprout, and you know that was the hosting platform, and it goes out to Spotify, this, that, and the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, we hit the ground running, and COVID hits, and like part of our package was, you know, we would get one studio time a month. So, you know, we ended up accruing so many hours because COVID hit. And the big thing is he was like we had one mic, and he was like, yo, I want you guys to succeed and do this. I know there's two of you. And I know you're going to want a guest or whatever. He's like, if you need a mic, I'll lend you one of my mics. It was an Audio Technica, a little bit different than this, but still $100 mic. You know, so we got the $100 mic we came with, and then he lent us $100 mic.
Yeah.
To get us going. So I was like, dude, F yeah, man, like that's awesome. Mind you, we're paying the guy, but still, he didn't need to do that. So we start this thing off. You know, we're at episode, I think, oh my God, man, 76. We started in March. I mean, we were doing. I wanted to do one way I wanted to do it, honestly. My co-host, you know, he's more on the laid backer side. He was like, yeah, we'll do like one a week. Where I'm like, dude, we need to go live at lunch.
Every day.
Every day. every Monday through Friday. We'll take Saturday and Sunday off. I was like, we just need to be, I want people to have, like, wake up in the middle of the night, OVERSHOT paintball podcast. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I kind of wanted. So we kind of met.
Just crank out that content.
We were just, you know, so for beginning, you know, we did one at a time, one a week. And then we just had we had like 6 episodes chilling, waiting. And he was the one that he's like, yeah, I kind of feel bad telling people it's going to be out in a month. Like, that's crazy. When'd you record this? Oh, we're going to go put it out in a month. So we ended up doing 2 a week for a long time. Up until pretty recently, I had to kind of take a little bit of a step back, you know, handle some life stuff. You know, I'm back with the podcast and everything. I was never away. Just I had to handle a couple things. So now we're doing one a week. We're at like 70. Like I said, like I think we're on 77 will be our next one. So I think we just did 76, and it's been something where I like it. One, at first it was good for me because during quarantine, I was bored out of my goddamn mind. I'll be honest. I was one of those people. I didn't leave the house. I did not leave the house. My aunt brought me everything in a hazmat suit. I got diabetes, high blood pressure, all kinds of stuff, man. You know what I mean? I'm typical. I'm the guy that's gonna get, if anybody's gonna get, and if I'm gonna get it, it's gonna be worse than anything that anybody's ever seen. It's just that's how it's gonna be, man. But I mean, that's been my whole life. So. It was just therapy to me, man. It was just like talking to people. So that's why I wanted to. I was like, every night we were recording one.
Yeah.
We maybe not dropping it, but we were recording one every night. And just reconnecting with, you know, because I've all my friends in paintball, you know, the pros. And I think it was something that he didn't understand. Like, my boy was like, yo, how's this guy have time for us? I'm like, dude. Nobody's doing anything. Everybody's stuck at home. You call somebody up and say, hey, you want to talk paintball for an hour? They're like, yeah, dude. Who are you? I never met you. We're talking paintball. That's what's so great about it, dude. Yeah. I think that COVID was the perfect time, this time, even more so when we were more locked up. But it's a perfect time, man, because podcast listening went up a whole lot, man.
Yeah.
A whole lot. And something, dude, when you're driving, I love it, man. I love I listen to, and I'm not, listen, dude, do I Joe Rogan's the standard. I want to be Joe Rogan. That's my thing. My co-host might not have the same dreams as me. That's, that's on him. But dude, I want to be Joe Rogan. He's like, well, Joe Rogan talks more about paintball. Dude, then I'll talk more about paintball. We could talk, you've had bands on this thing. You've had whoever. Dude, we can expand it, dude. It's always, it's bigger than just ourselves. And putting the spotlight on other people and whatever. You don't know what people are going to get out of a podcast. You never know.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You have people that they'll hear one thing and that might change their day around, change their life around, man. And we've had people, and that's really what it's about. It's about the people, but it's also about myself. It's my podcast. At the end of the day, it's my podcast. It's our podcast. It's me and Travis' podcast. I don't want to say it's just mine, but I'm not doing it for other people. Yes, I'm doing it, my buddy, whatever, or this guy wants to talk about what he's doing and everything like that. I got that. But at the end of the day, dude, it's for me. Mm-hmm. It's for me. It's my therapy. It's my church. It's my yoga. It's my anything like that.
And that's why it comes off authentic. Just like, anything that I've only known you for a short amount of time, but when you talk from the heart. There's no filters. What you're thinking is right out there. So
I've tried to do that a lot in the past where you try to be PC or you try to do, and listen, man, not everybody's going to agree with everything I say. And, I'm very, I'll say this, I'm hard headed about the way that I think is the way that I think. But dude, I just,
you're true to you.
I love it, dude. I just
you.
love, I'm passionate, man. The same reason why, you might, hate me because how serious I take paintball is the same reason why you would love me because I'll help you out and I'll help you out with anything. This you can't have both. And I think that's what sometimes people don't get. Like, you can't have both sides. Like, you can't have someone that's so someone that loves passionately and someone that's fights passionately. It's I think people just want the love. They want someone that loves them so strong and hard, and but they're the same person that is gonna fight with you so difficult because they put their everything into everything that they're doing. They put their whole heart and soul into it. So if they're fighting you, it's their whole heart and soul. If they're loving you, it's their whole heart and soul. So blew my mind. Put that on a meme.
Well, John, do you go by John? We usually call you Waldo.
Most people call me Waldo, man.
Let's not bullshit here, anybody.
Yeah, no, man. If people listening to it, it's Waldo. Instagram here is Waldo. Overshot a paintball podcast. Tri-State Expo League. I got a lot of many hats that I've been doing. Also do a training camp. Done a training camp for kids to teach them how to play paintball, start box. So, you could definitely hit me up on any social media platforms or anything like that. I appreciate you guys having me here out today. Love to do this again. And if anybody is listening more than a couple of friends that I have, or, the fans over from my podcast or anything like that, definitely, follow these guys on any of their social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, or wherever you see them. And let's all, as my friend Rob says, the tide rises for all ships. So we're all in this together.
Absolutely. And we're going to have a description to, for everybody to find you down in the links. So we'll have the links down in the description. There we go. Yeah, still
perfect.
There it is. So again, thanks Waldo for coming down, joining us.
Thank you guys.
We'll see y'all next time.
See you next time, guys.